Eli Lilly's controversial move to request medical records from patients using compounded weight loss drugs has sparked outrage across the GLP-1 community. Could this be dangerous outreach by Big Pharma? Stay tuned. Welcome to the Downsized, where we cover everything you need to know about GLP-1 medications and the stories that impact your weight loss adventure. I'm Christopher Durham, and today I'm on the MSC Seascape in the middle of the Caribbean, actually at their private island. It's called Ocean Cay, beautiful place. We'll be out on the beach after I finish filming this. We're going to discuss the controversy brewing around Eli Lilly's recent actions involving letters requesting patients' medical records. But first, let's look at some of the company's financials that are driving this legal battle. Before we get into it, please do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss updates on GLP-1s like Zepbound, Mounjaro, Ozempic, Wegovy, tirzepatide, and semaglutide, and anything else that comes along. So let's begin. Eli Lilly has been making waves recently, not just for its blockbuster drugs like Mounjaro and Zepbound, but also for its financial performance. In Q2 2024, Lilly saw a 36% surge in revenue, driven by the success of these blockbuster weight loss drugs, with earnings per share jumping 68%. They've also raised their full-year revenue guidance by $3 billion, cementing their position as a dominant player in the pharmaceutical industry. So with these massive profits and continued growth, well, why the controversy? So the buzz has been everywhere, YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, you name it. I'll reference a Bloomberg article that was published this week. Eli Lilly has been sending letters to Americans who may have used compounded tirzepatide, requesting access to their medical records. Lilly claims this is for safety reasons as they build a case against businesses selling compounded versions of their blockbuster weight loss drugs. But this request has, of course, sparked outrage and concern across our entire community. Dave Knapp from the YouTube channel On the Pen, who we just did an interview with a few weeks ago, hello Dave, if you're watching, was quick to report on Lilly's actions, raising skepticism about this unusual move. He published several videos. Is it real? Is it not real? Is it a scam? Ally over at Fit Flavor Fun, also a YouTube channel, has been following the story very closely. She, I think, had 4 videos yesterday, reached out to customer service. Go watch her videos as well. I may borrow a pic from you, Ally, if you don't mind. I apologize, but I'll make sure to give you the reference and put a link in the description to both your channels. So she has this whole video series highlighting how she's interacted with customer service, and needless to say, they've been less than forthcoming when asking for details. It left many, including myself, wondering, well, just what the heck is Lilly trying to accomplish here? So the letter, which is on Eli Lilly letterhead to an unspecified recipient, includes a return envelope. The letter reads, and I'll read it verbatim. We recently learned that you took one of our products from a compounding pharmacy. Eli Lilly and Company is committed to ensuring the safety of our patients and products. They go on to say, we would appreciate it if you could complete the enclosed form and sign the authorization for release of medical information so that we can obtain more details from the treating physician around your experience. Please note that all information provided to Eli Lilly and Company will be maintained in a confidential manner and will only be utilized to follow up on the safety of our product. Enclosed is a postage-paid envelope for your convenience. Thank you in advance for your assistance and cooperation. Sincerely, Global Patient Safety, Eli Lilly and Company. So a couple of things there. So I'm going to scroll back up and walk you through a couple of questions that I have. So we recently learned that one of our products from a compounding pharmacy. Well, Lilly, how did you recently learn this? So are you leveraging data where perhaps I may have used one of your coupons for Zepbound or Mounjaro? Are you buying information illegally? Is there a scam? Is there a leak? Is there something? I don't know how you're getting this, how you recently learned, but it sounds a little sketchy, guys. Going down to the bottom, they say, please note all information provided to Eli Lilly and Company will be maintained in a confidential manner. Well, I would hope so. It will only be utilized to follow up on the safety of our product. So that personal pronoun there is a little problematic, Eli Lilly. You have repeatedly said that compounded tirzepatide is not your product and you don't know where people are getting it from. So I don't really understand this phrase, our product. So if I'm using compounded tirzepatide or anyone else in the world is using compounded tirzepatide, that would not be your product. It's all just perplexing at best. I just don't really understand what they're doing here. So now I want to, of course, I want to make sure that you understand that I have a vested interest in all of this. I want to share with you my own experience. As many of you know, I started my weight loss journey using GLP-1 medications back in September of 2023, and I've lost more than 78 pounds. I've used compounded versions of tirzepatide as well as Mounjaro and Zepbound. And during the shortages of these drugs, compounded alternatives were a lifeline for me. I wouldn't have lost the 78 pounds I've shed without them. So you can imagine my surprise when Eli Lilly started labeling these state-regulated compounds as uninspected and of unknown quality. And in fact, they've run ads. They've had a personal attack on all of this. I've personally found no difference in efficacy for the medications, in the amount of weight that I've lost, or in any of the side effects. If I hadn't known where it came from, I wouldn't have known the difference. As you can see, this is deeply personal for me because, like many of you, I have relied on these compounded drugs when Lilly's products were nowhere to be found or as a cheaper alternative. The legality of compounding tirzepatide is clear. It's allowed when FDA-approved drugs are in short supply, as per the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. But for Lilly to ask for medical records for patients who use these alternatives, well, that's raising a lot of eyebrows, including mine. Compounding pharmacies, which play a critical role in filling these gaps, are regulated by the state pharmacy boards, and the ingredients in those medications have to be federally regulated as well. These boards are responsible for ensuring safety standards, so the argument that some compounders are using unsafe ingredients is fueling the fire. I'm not saying there's not unscrupulous actors out there. There's not manufacturers from overseas selling stuff on Facebook. You should never be doing any of that. These are prescription medications, and you should be working with qualified physicians to write you a prescription and qualified pharmacies to fill them, both with the branded and the compounded. What we know is millions of Americans are battling the disease of obesity, and they rely on these compounded medications to manage their health. So, I have to ask, why now? With Eli Lilly reporting significant revenue increases and growing its global presence, their recent actions are tied to protecting their lucrative market share or even growing their lucrative market share. They're not just making advancements in weight loss drugs either. They've also submitted tirzepatide for the treatment of obstructive sleep apnea in adults with obesity. Among other major comorbidities, they have a ton in the pipeline to make these drugs even more profitable. On top of that, Lilly recently committed to more than $5 billion in manufacturing investments aimed at boosting the production of tirzepatide and other pipeline medications. They're gearing up to dominate the market even further. But while they're busy securing their future, it feels like they might be leaving the needs of their customers behind. Now, you might be wondering, is this request for medical records a violation of HIPAA? Well, not necessarily. As long as Lilly gets proper consent from patients through an authorization for release of medical information, they're within their rights to request these records. However, if they were to access any of this information without consent, that would be a clear HIPAA violation. The concern here is whether patients are fully aware of what they're consenting to. So typically, HIPAA pertains to doctors, insurance companies, PBMs, anyone who's already storing your medical records and how that information is shared, and you have to be aware and give permission for the sharing of that. So anybody, honestly, in the world could say, hey, will you give me your medical records? And you could say yes or no, and you'd have to sign the paperwork to let them see it. There's no violation there. Is it weird? Yeah, it's super weird. As this story continues to develop, it's clear that the tension between big pharma and their patients is only going to escalate. It's clear that big pharma, that Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk both, will begin to accelerate their pressure on compounding pharmacies, despite them being perfectly legal. With compounded versions of these weight loss drugs potentially bringing in billions of dollars, there's a lot of money on the line, and Lilly is determined to protect their interest. If you've used compounded tirzepatide or received one of these letters from Lilly, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear how this is affecting you, see if it says anything different, see what your thoughts are. So before I close, I want to send a clear message to the GLP-1 community. My advice, do not sign this letter. Do not give Lilly or anybody else permission to access your medical records without fully understanding the implications. This move feels risky for all of us who've relied on these medications to bridge the gap in availability. You've got to be cautious and stay informed. Beyond that, the advice that I would give to Lilly is it seems that in the last 6 months to a year, you've had one after another of just poor choices. Look at your marketing choices, look at your PR choices, look at your pricing choices. Now look at what should have been a legally screened letter, I would hope it was, and ask, do you have a strategy to grow your brand, to help your customer, to love you, to want you, to advocate for you? Because it feels like you're working against us, not with us. It doesn't feel like you want me to be loyal. It feels like you want me to distrust you. In one fell swoop, you released the vials, lowered the price, and then raised the price on the discount card. In one fell swoop, you sent an awkwardly worded legal sounding letter out to get private and confidential medical information. Are you guys talking to each other? Do you have a plan on how you're going to market? Do you have a plan on how you're going to build your brand, on how you're going to inspire loyalty, trust, love? Doesn't feel like it. Find better marketing, PR, and legal help. Engage your customers. We want you to be successful. If you want to stop this, I've said it many, many times before, make sure your medications are in stock and I can get them easily every day, and make them a reasonable price for Americans. I understand our healthcare system is complex and there are many people to blame for it, including PBMs, including distributors, including the actual drugstores themselves. It is a very complex process, but it starts with you, and you are wildly profitable, as we've seen by the numbers. I want to make it clear. I'm not a doctor or a lawyer, so the information I share here is based on my personal experience and publicly available sources. It's important to consult with healthcare professionals and legal experts for advice specific to your situation, especially when it comes to decisions involving your own weight loss journey, involving your own legal and medical records. While I can share my perspective and what I've learned along my weight loss adventure, always make sure to get professional advice tailored to your health and your legal needs. If you found this story helpful or interesting, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on GLP-1 medications, weight loss tips, our personal adventures, or other stories that we share. We're here to keep you informed and supported on your adventure. If you haven't already, please go visit Dave Knapp, Man on the Manjar. Take a look at the videos that he's publishing on this, as well as Ally over at Fit Flavor Fun. They're both tracking this pretty closely, and there's a lot of other people out there. I caution. Don't give away your medical information. I'm Christopher Durham, and we are the Downsized.